One day Sir Topham had called all the engines to the sheds. He had an announcement to make. "Engines, I have an announcement to make. As all of you know, Henry is indisposed." Thomas smiled. "Oh, you mean Henry, the sad story of Henry? Or do you mean Henry, my driver's name? Because if you mean Henry, the sad story of Henry, there's a nursery rhyme I'd like to dedicate to him. It goes, once an engine attached to a train was afraid of a few drops of rain, went into a tunnel and squeaked through its funnel and never came out again." The other engines laughed very hard, especially Winston, the engine that tried to push Henry out of the tunnel. "Thomas," he chortled when he caught his breath, "where do you come up with this stuff? You are a comedic genius." "Yes, very, very funny," said Sir Topham Hatt, who was laughing too. "I just wanted to let you all know that recently I have purchased 3 new engines to come and help out on this railway. I found them in an engine workshop on the S1E10. I went to the foreman and I asked him, 'Do you have any engines for sale?' The foreman looked confused for some reason and said, 'Yes, we have these 3. What are their names?' asked Sir Topham Hatt, 'and are they expensive?' "Names? No. Numbers? Yes. Experimental? Somewhat. Kind of. These are the first of all of their classes. But I can't say all experiments went right with them. The red engine is a mix between an LMS Stanier and the LNER A1. Some very greedy people heard the tale of a mixed engine, so they tried to do it themselves. But it was very successful. This engine is very strong. He has a number, but I cannot exactly remember it at this moment, so I'm gonna look in his files to see what his number is. This engine is one of the LNER A1 prototypes. Except for the last one, this one was a success. In fact, he's bigger and stronger than the other one. Well, they're technically identical in the same size, but you know what I mean. His number is 87546. Now this engine isn't a hybrid, he's more of a prototype. He's the first of his class, the LNER B12. Since the class is very successful, and he was the first one to do it, he was the pride of the line. His number is 98462. "So, sir, would you like me to show you around?" No thank you. I think I'll just take those 3 engines, red, blue, and blue." "What?" "Oh, good thing I wasn't chosen, because I don't want to work next to those 3. Troublesome trio. I'm sure I'll make them really useful engines. What do you think, foreman?" "Your wish, bruh." "So that's how I got those 3. They're going to arrive about next week. So, what do you think, engines?" The engines either looked miserable, confused, or doubtful of what would happen. Winston looked over at Edward. Edward, is everything all right? You're doing your worried face." Edward and Winston were best friends for a very long time. They knew whenever the other one was not all right, because they would do a face called the anxious face. "No, I'm fine. It's just that these engines came from workshop. This is like the same story as how we got Henry, but these engines seem off-ish. I mean, I just hope that they're useful and not arrogant and proud that they're prototypes." Ugh, when are these fools gonna let me out of this tunnel? Ugh. Wait, did you hear that? Well, since there's no one else left in this tunnel, yes, I did hear that. It sounds like a whistle. But I never heard those whistles before. What was that? Ugh. Well, whatever that was, it's not gonna last on this railway very long. I was vain once and they locked me in this tunnel. Imagine what they'll do to them. Despite their initial suspicion, they wanted to help the new engines feel comfy and at home. They were greeted by 3 new engines the following week. Sir Topham Hatt made an announcement. Engines and engines. Thomas, Eagle, and Edward, meet 98462, 87546, and 76626. What a privilege to meet you, said 98462. Yes, it's truly a pleasure, bubbled 87546. But 76626 was at the back, admiring his red paint. Man, nothing could look better than me, he thought. Edward, would you be so kindly as to show 98462, 87546, and 76626 where they're supposed to be? Yes, sir. Of course, sir. Come along, you 3. Let me show you what you have to do on this railway. Just if you would kindly follow me to Knapford Station, you could collect your coaches. Yes. We wouldn't want to keep the passengers waiting, now would we?